Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing on the theme of 2021 makeup, and we are going to talk about best releases that happened in 2021. This is not a top favorites, so that's gonna come in another video if you're still interested. I think there's a lot of top favorites this week, but these are the releases, the top 20 releases that in my opinion were the best. I have 3 honorable mentions because I couldn't choose, but I'll talk about those at the end. So if you guys are interested, please continue watching. If you're new here, please subscribe down below if you enjoyed these videos. And let's get into this beautiful, lots and lots of products here. So I did not include skincare or primers here. I have the Glow Skin SPF that I use like every single time I do my makeup, but I'm not sure if it was released this year. That's the problem. I wasn't sure when these products were released. I only started doing YouTube exactly a year ago. So I wasn't sure if some of these were in 2021 release, but I think they were. So I'm gonna start with foundation, and I have 2 foundations that I use almost every single day, and this is one of the most expensive foundations that I own, and I'm so glad it's here because I would say if I were to pick one foundation that is my all-time favorite, it is this one. You may think it was the Lisa Eldridge, but it's actually this one. This has some glow to it. Lisa Eldridge, which is the next one I was going to talk about. So these are the two foundations that I think they were the best foundations that were released this year. But this one gives me a little bit more glow. It's a little bit easier to spread. It blends into the skin just easier. But the only flaw is that it doesn't last quite as well as the Lisa Eldridge, but it still lasts like 8-10 hours. It still looks beautiful and it fades so nicely. So this is without a doubt just my favorite foundation and one of the best releases this year, I think so. This is I didn't even say what it was. It's the Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation in like natural version. And this is the 040 and it's dark for me. I usually have to be extremely self-tan like that next day or have to mix it. But I always mix it with this next one right here. This is the Lisa Eldridge foundation. And I have raved about this and sung its praises for the past, I don't know, a month or since it's been released. I actually have them in 3 shades. I have 8, 11, and 16. I actually bought 16 for my kit because it has such a good true olive undertone. And I lack I like a good olive undertone foundation. So, this one right here is 8, and what I usually do, I mix the 8 with this one, and that's what I have on my skin right now. Now this one definitely has a bit more of a natural finish, if not more matte. It dries pretty quickly on the skin, so you don't want to sit there and talk to your friends or watch your YouTube channel, get distracted and not blend it in. So what I suggest with this one, put a little bit here, blend it out, put a little bit here, blend it out, but it is seamless. Like you do not know you're wearing foundation, but it covers the good medium buildable coverage. And I would say the same with this one. This is a medium coverage. I don't even know if it's buildable. I haven't honestly been building this up. I just think it's so beautiful the way it is. So yes, coming back to the Lisa Eldridge, this one does not have a glow. It is, I would say it's a satin finish because it's not extremely matte, but it lasts on the skin all day long. I actually think at the end of the day, my skin looks better than when I first applied. Somehow it gets in with the oils of your skin and it meshes so well, and it does not sit on top of your skin. It's a beautiful foundation and probably the best wearing foundation. Like, it looks the most like skin, the most seamless, and it lasts the best. But again, I think I prefer the ease of application of this one and the finish that this one has. I'm normal to dry. So yeah, these are the two foundations that I thought were the best this year. Now, I don't really have a concealer in here. A couple to mention is the Anastasia concealer. That is beautiful. It's actually what I'm wearing right now. Tom Ford concealer was a huge release, but the price made me not put it in here. And then another honorable mention was this one, which I think it was released this year, but I'm not sure, so that's why this is the NARS corrector, and I love it. And then, gosh, I'm cheating so much. This one from Lancome is a great one as well. Tint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. Great concealers that came out this year that I thought were worth mentioning, but they're not in my top 20. Moving on to powders, I think the one powder that trumped them all is this one from Kosas. For me, this is my holy grail powder. I use it almost every single day. I also enjoy the Pat McGrath Under Eye Brightening Powder. That's a great one. The Dior one is really nice. The No Powder powder that also came out this year, but this, I mean, I use the Dior ones every 20 times I use this one. This is in the color Breezy, and honestly, I think I could use 3-4 different ones because this powder is so light. I broke my packaging, and I flattened this out because it had a pretty big bump there, which says a lot because I don't even like powder. But this is setting your foundation or concealer. I'm mainly using under my eyes. It is like nothing under the eyes. It still blurs, like your pores are just gone, but it is not heavy whatsoever. You don't even know you're wearing a powder. So best powder of the year, absolutely. Next, I'm going to talk about one product that I use every single day, unless I really am not wearing any makeup. But every time I do my makeup, I use this one right here. This is the Gucci Powder Eyebrow Pencil, and it is my all-time favorite. I think throughout the year, I probably tried to use 2 other different pencils, and I hated my brows. I was like, oh, they look so unnatural, so fake. So this is literally everything I use. It has a very waxy, powdery feel to the tip. And if you can hear, like it's harsh. So it gives you these strokes. It looks like nothing, but somehow in the brows, it just looks like nothing. But it fills them in, and it's beautiful. I've had this the whole year. I've used it, again, almost every single day, and I still have so much. It's expensive, but absolutely well worth the price, and I really don't want to use any other product for my eyebrows. So I'm going to move on to bronzers. I have this cream bronzer. This is Makeup by Mario, and this is the sculpting stick. Yeah, the soft sculpting shaping stick. And I have mine in light medium. And this has been used so much. I would say the first 2/3 of the year, I used almost this exclusively. So good. It's easy, fast, color is perfect, it blends in well. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing out of this world, but it was a great release and I used it so much. Great price as well. It has a brush. I even forgot about this. I hate the brush. And great product. Now I have discovered the contour stick from Westman Atelier. I've been using that every day since I've discovered it. But from Victoria Beckham, I've also discovered this. This is their bronzer. And this I only started using like not even a month ago, but it definitely is just a top 20 release of 2020 because it is stunning. It is so beautiful, a beautiful texture, beautiful finish on the skin, easy again, like you guys know, the packaging isn't great for me, but that's just an error I can overlook. But the actual product is stunning. I think it's a beautiful release. You get a lot of product, like, you know, you get the light, the deeper one. It is expensive, but I think it was an amazing release, and you can definitely purchase the refillable ones, which is wonderful. Another bronzer that I was kind of surprised that made it in here, but I can't deny it. It was so beautiful. This is the HUDA GloWish bronzer, and I have used this so much. It is just a beautiful, slightly glowy bronzer, but it's not too glowy. It's not overpowering, but it gives a sheen to the skin. It's not matte. So I have mine in the shade medium. So when I want a wash of color, I don't want it to be intense. I want it to look like my skin. This is what I reach for. Because I have shade 2 medium, this seems to me to be a little bit light overall. I think I need to get one deeper to where it shows up a lot, but this is stunning, mostly if I'm a little bit more fair, or I just want just a beautiful wash of bronze. Beautiful. It never looks patchy, never ever, and because it's so light, you can really build it up. And I think that was a beautiful release from HUDA. And then a palette, a face palette, is this one right here. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the outer packaging. How stunning is that? This is the Nudegasm face palette, and I did do a full review on it. It's kind of what I'm wearing today as a contour bra. Am I wearing this as a bronzer? No, I think I have a different bronzer, but I have the highlighter and the blush in here, and I think this is such a good release. You know, I heard people saying like, oh, this one's too light for me, or cool tone, this is too dark. I wish she made two. And yes, I wish she made this and a deeper one. But for me, this is beautiful. I actually love that I have both of these because I combine them. And if I really want to sculpt my face, I just go for this one. If I want it as a bronzer, I actually combine these because this is pretty deep, but it's also a beautiful like shadow. So when I want to use this as a bronzer, I just combine these two. The blush is stunning. It's a very glowy, but it's not like a highlighter glow. So I that's what I'm wearing today. And then the highlighter is also beautiful. It's a very smoothing on the skin, even though it's intense. It's just a formula. This Gelée formula is just, it has no glitter, just soft. So I thought this was a great release, and I got so much use out of this palette. All right, let's talk a little bit about blushes. I do think that in 2021, so many good blushes were released. And it was hard to only keep it to 3 because I didn't want to just put blushes in here. But these 3, I felt that for me, they were the most interested, the most excited to wear them, and great colors, and they perform amazing. So the first one is the Pat McGrath, and this comes to no surprise. This is the Desert Orchid. Beautiful, stunning blush. I would say that out of all the blushes that were released, this is the one that I used the most, just because it's such a neutral color that it goes with anything. Even if I'm going more cool tone, somehow it doesn't pull too warm on me. Definitely works for more of a neutral to warm looks, but even with cool tone, I paired this and it looked really nice. Formula is incredible. I like the packaging. Just everything about this release was wonderful. I like the embossing inside. I think it's nice. And just, again, the color and the way this looks on the skin, it has a sheen, but it's not, again, too intense. I think it is stunning. So if I ever have an oopsie with a blush, I tend to reach for this to fix it. Or the next one that I'm going to talk about is so expensive. It's the most expensive blush I own, but I cannot deny that I absolutely love it, and I've used this so much, and that is the Tom Ford Duo, the Shade and Illuminate blush, and this one is $90. Let's just get that out of the way. But I just love the colors so much and the way that this performs. The more I use it, the more I love it. This is an O2 Explicit Flush, and this is a beautiful neutral color. So this is the next one that if something's wrong with my blush, I reach to fix. This color right here. It's a stunning color. It's not too intense. It's more intense on the cheeks that you see right there. That looks like nothing. But just the way it blends into the skin, I find it so unique, so beautiful. I love that you have this pop of color, and it pops. But even so, they're elegant. There's just something about it that it's almost like a filter on your cheekbone. And I think the same happens with the Pat McGrath one. I think that just these two have that effect on the cheek that it just puts a filter on your cheeks. So I really enjoyed this one. I really made a huge dent in this one. And I think in the beginning I was like, kept wearing it because I paid so much money, but the more I wore it, the more I loved it and wanting to reach for it. It had a TF and like little beautiful things on top of it, but they're gone because I've used it so much. Again, luxurious packaging, and that was a great release for me. And then the last one, I had to include a cream blush. There's so many beautiful ones, but these really stood out to me. This is the Rose Ink, and I have here Heliotrope, which is this right here. And then definitely my favorite is the Foxglove, which is right here. So these are the two colors that I have. Saying that, I think I've used this one more because I tend to pick this one up when I do a cool tone look, and lately I feel like I've done quite a lot of cool tone looks. So I pair this blush with a cool tone look, and these are very creamy. They're thick, and it sounds bad. Like, I'll show you. I hope you guys can see there that, like, you know, you put your hand in it and it's like thick. It leaves residue where your finger went, and the product, even on my hand, looks thick. It looks like, wow, it's a lot. That's not gonna blend out, but it absolutely does. It has a beautiful color. It doesn't have any glitter in it, but it does have a sheen on your skin, and it lasts so well. So definitely amazing blushes. And this color, I like it more than that, but I think I've used the other one more. I'll swatch it right here. Look how beautiful that one is. That's definitely a color that I use a lot. So I thought that this was a beautiful release. It's kind of a new brand as well. This is the only thing that I've tried from this brand, but for me, I was impressed with this release. All right, I am going to talk about some highlighters, and this is from Lisa Eldridge, and these are so stunning on the skin. Yeah, they are watery, so when you first open them up and apply them on your skin, like, they are very liquid, but once you blend it into the skin, it becomes one with the skin. Again, I think that Lisa Eldridge, that's her main gift, is to make the skin look just radiant, no trace of foundation, no trace of any lines. And I think this highlighter, I hope you guys can tell, I think the lights are kind of washing this out. This highlighter, let me swatch it on the other hand. I don't think it's doing justice. But this highlighter definitely does that. It It's a little scary when you first apply it because you think, wow, I applied too much. But if you blend just a little bit, you will just blend it into the skin. I'm actually going to add just a little bit here. This is the wrong hand. So just to show you just how pretty it really is. So when I want just my skin to look fresh, wet like, I reach for these. I have the Cosmic Rose in Crystal Nebula, and I did hear a couple of people complaining that it was probably lifting their foundation a little bit. I personally have not experienced that at all. Now, I don't tend to use a very heavy foundations, and if I use medium coverage, medium to full, I almost never use full coverage, but if I do, I will do thin layers. So I didn't experience any lifting with these, but I did hear that, so I thought I should mention it. And then the next highlighter really has taken over is this one from Westman Atelier. This is the color Nectar, and I don't think it's anything out of this world. Like, it's not like you put it on and you are just glowing. But the way it sits on the skin, it's right here. It is so skin-like, so beautiful. I love the color. It looks very pink, but it's not that pink on the skin. I wear this a lot, mainly when it's like a no makeup kind of day. If I just have a little bit of skin tint, some mascara, a lip balm, you know, I'll add a little bit of this one. But it makes the skin look healthy, and that's why it's become my favorite. I have no issues with it lifting foundation. It is so easy to apply. I can either put it on or put it on, like take it on my finger and tap it. This and the Merit one are very similar. Merit, I would say, it has a little bit more punch to the color. And I almost put that one in here. I took it out a last second because these are very similar, but I think I used this one more. I've had it for longer, but I thought that this was beautiful. I love the color. I love the way it sits on my skin, and it's kind of like a no highlighter with the effects of a highlighter without looking like a highlighter. I'm sure that made complete sense. Whew, I'm trying to get through this. Okay, a few lip products and then we're gonna move to the eyeshadows, which are gonna be repetitive from my last video. But a beautiful color from Charlotte Tilbury that came out that I just dropped is this one, Catwalking. I have used this so much, probably my most used lipstick this year. This is the swatch right here. It is not what I have right now, but I'm going to put it on. Even that, I feel like fixed the lipstick that I had before. Before it was just a little bit too pink, and I like brownie undertones, neutral yellowy undertones to my lipsticks. I don't love pink undertones. I don't like any rosiness in them. I like that right there. This is the perfect nude for me. So I have used this so much. It is a matte formula from Charlotte Tilbury, and we all know Pillow Talk. I almost dare I say it feels creamier than Pillow Talk, just a little bit. And then the next lipstick is from Lisa Eldridge, and this color specifically, this is the Velvet Intrigue, and I'm gonna swatch it. I should have left the other one so you guys can see. This one is a little bit brighter, lighter. Let me swatch the Charlotte Tilbury next to it again. So those are the swatches. So this has a bit more pink than this one, but it's still not, it's not a pink lipstick. It has such neutral, beautiful undertones that it works so well on my lips. And I wore this one in a video, and I actually had quite a few people ask me, oh, what are you wearing on your lips? And it was Velvet Intrigue. So these were two beautiful nudes that came out. Velvet Cinnamon came out, and that was just stunning. But I will say that I find that that does not fade great on me. I always feel like it makes my lips chapped. And again, it is winter time. My lips are very chapped. But I struggled with that color, the way it fades on my lips. So that was a beautiful color, beautiful release, but the way it wears is not as good as these. And then one mascara that I really hope it came out in 2021, and I only have a mini here, but it's the Bite Beauty Mascara. This is my all-time favorite mascara. Absolutely. I have right here this that I can redeem from just the Sephora favorites, and I'm definitely gonna pick the Bite Beauty over the Pat McGrath or all the other ones because this is so beautiful. It's very like volumizing. It is somehow lengthening. It does not smudge, which I think is the number one thing for me. I don't want a mascara to smudge. That's the biggest issue for me. And this does not do that. And it holds a curl. It is just the best mascara that I have tried, and just overall my all-time favorite mascara. All right, we have 4 eyeshadow palettes to talk about. And again, these are kind of repetitive, so I'm probably gonna go through them a little bit quicker because I've talked about these 2 days ago in my last video. First one is Patrick Ta. It's so reflective. You can see myself right there. So this is how it looks inside. The reason I think it's a beautiful release and in my top 20, the colors are beautiful, everyday kind of palette, but you have textures. You have this warmer reddish brown. You have this beautiful darker, just smokier topper shimmers. You have these creams. I just think this was a stunning release from Patrick Ta. The packaging feels nice and luxurious, and honestly, I could just use this palette for months and I wouldn't necessarily feel the need to go into something else. That may be a lie because I like to play around. Next one is the Vanity Makeup. This took me by surprise. I didn't even know about this brand, but the second I saw on Trendmood a picture of this, I was like, what is that? I wanted best palette of the year. I think so. It has everything you want, amazing quality. The mattes blend themselves. So if you do not know how to do your eye makeup, you don't really do eyeshadow, having something like this will make your life easier. You have these beautiful toppers. They're just stunning. They're elegant. They're elegant. And then this one right here, it is, like I said before, just straight up liquid gold. You have just everything you need in this palette, and absolutely an amazing release this year. And then the next two are Pat McGrath. No surprise here. This is her holiday palette. This is the Celestial Odyssey, and this is how it looks inside. I think that this was a brilliant release. Beautiful colors. You don't have any of her special shades in here, but all of these, I mean, they're top notch. I want to say sometimes I prefer these over the other ones just because they're easier to work with. They have a ton of pigment, not a ton of fallout, and just stunning. You can do more neutral looks with this one than you think. I mean, just take this one. Let's cover this one and these two. Whoop, I can't. It's like reverse. Like that looks like a decently neutral palette with a bit of a pop of pink. So I adore this palette, and it has been used a lot. And then I could not include the Pat McGrath Utopian. I talked about this so much on my channel, so I'm just gonna leave it here. Great palette, love it. Now I do have two honorable mentions, and I feel like I wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention them. And this is the Rose Quartz by HUDA. this blew me out of the water. Like, it was just so beautiful. To me, I was shocked because I was not expecting to like this one. A couple of you guys had issues with this, or all the looks came the same, but I could create so many looks with this. Everything showed up, everything was vibrant, and I was so impressed with that palette. And then the next one is the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette in dark. It is so beautiful. The blush is nice and pigmented, but not too pigmented, so you can work with it. This highlighter is very pigmented, so just watch out, but it is nice on the skin. And all these are very pigmented, intense colors, but unique. I think they have something different than what I have in other palettes, so I just wanted to mention those two. I don't know if this came out this year or not. Like, I could not find that information. I probably didn't look what I should, but this is the M Cosmetics lip liner in color Mink, and I've used it. This is my all-time favorite lip liner. Again, I don't know. I don't think that came out in 2021, but I'll just throw some sprinkles in there. So those are top 20 makeup releases in 2021. I think 2021 brought so much good makeup, like good quality makeup. Like, this is stunning. Like, there's not one dud in here. The foundations, the highlighters, just so much good makeup. I was actually thinking, oh, maybe I'll do a top 10 duds, but I don't even think I have 10 duds this year. I also am kind of careful of what I buy. I don't want to buy things that I won't like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like this series. I'm gonna have a couple more videos talking about the 2021. I still need to film some, so if you have suggestions, leave them down below. I would love to cater to what you guys want, and I'm having fun. I think it's kind of sitting here chatting with some friends and talking about makeup. What's better than that? And yes, I had a drink right before I started filming. I was getting kind of sleepy and I was like, ooh, and maybe that wasn't very smart. But we did it. I loved it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.